Welcome to Wickerson Studios. I'm revisiting my algorithms that pull together some time-simulated robots in KUKA. Not too hard to follow through from Carl Singline. I thank you very much for that. But I've also done a little bit of work with Jose Luis, and I want to just give him some credit and say, jump into here. My gosh, what an incredible point sorting video. Look at his face. It's absolutely amazing. So you can follow it through for the first 40 minutes and generate the same scripts I've done. I can't wait to start doing the proximity algorithms because that makes the robotics so much more useful. And although I initially have them set up to follow the XYZ patterns, you can see right within this script, it's the point sorting, and I call it by XYZ and optimizing it. So I have my first one, which is out here just sorting points. I have another one out here that sorts by XYZ, and then I have one that uses a little more that comes with, I guess, Rhino comment, or how do you say it? Basically being able to utilize some things that are specific to Grasshopper. So 3 versions that are pretty nice in there. They're all up here as user objects. I thank Jose Luis for the script, just following through. You can get it off that video. You definitely want to have this in one of your user objects for sure. Because what that does, it takes all the things that you were doing and maybe simulating a robot, and I'll go up here and grab this one, which is a little foolish. Let's take this one off and go to disable, and let's take this one on, enable, and then jump over to here, and you'll see if it's in here right. Oh my gosh, where'd it go? What have I got to do? I think everything was up and running. I enabled it. Oh, yeah, it's all enabled, but I think I have to make that preview on as well. There you go. So I've got a point system that's just total and utter chaos because there's no point system. So as I run through and throw it on play, it's like I'll just go to the next point, the next point, the next point. I'll jump around here. I'll go here, there, and everywhere. And that's just kind of foolish for a robot to have that plan. So what I wanted to do was come up from the XYZ coordinate. But what I'd like to do is also customize this script that it would go across and then come back and then go across and then come back. Sorry, like this, instead of like across, then across, and across, and across. But, you know, I'll figure that out in time. Let's just take this to disable. Let's go back onto here, this one, enable. And there we go. We've got a nice pattern here that if I just show you it, this one's a little more organized because this incredible little tiny algorithm that's been provided by Jose Luis. So we jump in here and we throw it into play, and you'll see that even though there's some problems with the robot, it definitely, well, it's having a little trouble here. It's like a bird going nuts, but it is staying kind of to the, what position did I have it in? Let me think. Let me go back here. I've got it in the X, which is not, yeah, it's all right. It's kind of coming across the X, and it fudges out here a little bit for me, but then I think it gets a little bit in control. Not really figured out. It's still got a lot of arrows with the robot, but I'm starting to think about the order of these drill points and what I would do. Kind of a wild script. I think I'll just stop this one because I'm a little embarrassed showing it. Let's go on to something else, like a script that I had. Turn that one off to pause. And let's go into File, Open, and let's go back in and say, okay, here's another sort of drilling, and see if this one behaves a little better. This is actually a surface edit that actually starts to grab an image sampler that grabs the geometry. I put it through, and then I have this magic, and I'll just make it the magic color blue, which makes me so happy. So they're sorted again in the x-axis, so it should be able to pull across, and I think this one isn't so wild. And of course, all the other stuff was in my earlier videos, and definitely from Carl Singline. So you see it's staying to the X. It's slowly going to creep down the red X line all the way across all of these points to simulate it, and there it goes. And I've got it over a 260-second period, so it's going to take some time to get across there. But it's a little more manageable, and you're starting to have control over what you want to do. And of course, my whole point is to make this augmented reality. So if you're just tuning into me, augmented reality in my backyard, give my kids a drill, show them the robot, get the sandpick going, and let them start to make these pattern molds. Even though at their age, between 4 and 11 years old, they can be making the pattern molds so that they'll be the arm of the robot, technically. And then I can go in and cast it in aluminum and bronze. So that's I'm really excited about that. So let's just have a little fun here and go in and see what else I did on an object file. Maybe not in the drilling, but let's go to the extrusion tool. Did I do any sorted? I did do one with a skeleton sorted. This one takes a little bit to load, so I'll stall and jabber on and talk a little bit. Actually, I think it takes way too long to load. So I'll just hit pause and I'll come back. Yeah, so basically what I have here is I have an extrusion tool that would actually draw up clay or do something like that. So I took out the top one. The other one was here. It initially was running on, it's kind of useless to have sorted points because it was flowing up in a nice stream. So without this, I could actually just go back to the original. It's going to take a few seconds to load that one in. And then I think if I run it through a simulation here, let's just leave that, throw that on this animation tool. You'll see that basically it goes down to the bottom and just runs around all those points. And technically the object wouldn't be there, but the extruder would cake out whatever you want. And of course, I want liquid aluminum, but that's going to take a pretty fancy attachment. So I thought for that I could also put in my sorting points tool here, because I can change that from the z-axis to the x-axis to the y-axis. My next goal is to follow through the videos with Jose Luis and then take it to the proximity of the point to the next point to control that. So sliding that back into there and doing this kind of loop through the sorted points, X, Y, Z, optimizing. You can see I can go back into it and throw it. I don't have my play tool on, but I have my animate tool on. We'll take it through a few stages now. It's just kind of doing the same thing and optimizing, popping through those points on the Z-axis. And what would change if I went in and did that again? Maybe I could do it during it. I don't know if I want to try that, but let me go in and just do a little quick panel tool because I've got it set up from Jose. What is going on? Okay, let me go into this edit tool here. See if I can jump in there and just put it over to the X. It's going to come out from the X and then move through, and that's going to pull it from one side to the next. And I'm not sure how that's going to complicate things. I kind of can guess, and then we'll take it through an animate tool and say that was extruding from this side from the X. Yeah, it's just kind of coming across. So not really the program you want, but starting to gaining some sorting control from these really nice sorted nodes. The initial one just be a point sort, the second one being a point sort X, Y, Z, and the third one being an optimized one using the power of Grasshopper. So really nice to watch this video and get these nodes in as user objects. I definitely think I'm going to be using them a lot when I think about using robotics. And I'll become finer and finer in it, and I probably won't get paid to do anything, but I think it's definitely interesting and fun to play with. So let's try one more. Open. Let's go into the examples I was playing with. Extrusion hot wire tool. I didn't optimize any there. I don't think I did a param tool. I think I just did the drilling in that. I didn't do any optimization in the drawing tool. So I still have plenty of those, which are kind of fun to play with. Anyway, that's it. So you just kind of get in here. You have some fun. You have a few sorted tools. I think the ones that really worked were the 6th version of that. Yeah, that's the one I really think I'm getting close on because, like I said, a little bit of a Foligram app here of going in and grabbing your Foligram and taking your sync objects, pull them all out here. You've got them all over in the augmented reality. You can take your sync parameters right here. You can have a few things you play with on your phone outside if you like, just the X and Z, even though that's set up for the image sampler. What you really want to do is come in here and pop in another image by double-clicking here and just grabbing something else you have on file. But then, if you did an augmented, that white version that's there is actually Foligram AR. So if I take that outside, I can have my kids, if I go real slow with this, they can literally have a tamping tool or a drill and try and follow at the pace of this. And of course, it's going way too fast because of the bits and pieces that I have. But technically, I think I can make them kind of their own. I just have to get them a cell phone that clips to their head or a HoloLens for $3,000, and I think I'll be in business. So really, here's where we're going, and then the sole point is to like sit and pour aluminum into those massive kind of molds, not needing a robot because you get the power of the augmented robot, and you can pull that through an image sampler. So I think I'm really onto something here. So if anybody's interested, contact me at Wickerson Studios. Throw $500 my way, and I'll cast you a big aluminum plate, 350 pounds of aluminum, plus labor. All right, thanks for watching.